8. Scientifically viable methods for improving talents. In order to make talents efficacious, that is, to take the best advantage out of talents, one has to make an endeavor to strengthen two facets of personality in equal measure. 1. The credibility, that is, sincerity is to be established. 2. Personal efficiency is to be increased. It necessitates restructuring of the contemplatory process for improvement of the inner self along with remodeling of one's style of living. Once the objective has been chosen, the mind is trained to get totally involved in its fulfillment with concentration, faith, enthusiasm, and perseverance. Besides, a habit of ever-readiness of devotion to work is cultivated so that time remains incessantly occupied in fruitful actions. The perspective is widened to look beyond the confines of narrow selfish interests so that the significance of the policy of simple living and high thinking is appreciated, and the savings thus made in time, labor and resources could be utilized in philanthropic activities like promotion of traits of virtues in society. This is the only way for development of high levels of talents. Here the concept of talent is related to such a composite development of belief and intellectual capacity in people, which is always helpful in promotion of an idealistic growth of the society. On developing these attributes of talent, the person himself becomes an ideal worthy of emulation, and during this process not only improves his own lot but simultaneously changes the course of history for betterment. In this chapter we are going to discuss about the methods useful in development of such talents. Is it possible to induce such a high level of metamorphosis of personality in the large mass of humanity with simple exercises? Since it is feasible to teach a child alphabets, numerals and locomotion with the help of simple mechanical gadgets, it should not be difficult to devise some exercises with the help of which a common man could get an opportunity to develop high level of talents. For any type of personal development, some discipline is required. For building muscles, a wrestler or a gymnast is required to follow a routine of prescribed exercises along with dietary changes. Similarly, exercises of sadhana have been devised for development of talents and have been found benefiting people to a great extent. Some such exercises which have been successfully experimented in Brahmacharya's Research Institute, research laboratory of spirituality located at the headquarters of this mission at Hardwar, and are likely to be introduced on a large scale in their present or modified form, are being mentioned hereunder. 1. Autosuggestion, Swasanket, choose a quiet environment and be seated, keeping the body still and mind withdrawn from mundane subjects. Conceptualize that a beam of prana vidyut, bioenergy, is radiating from a focal point in the middle of the brain and flowing with a great force in all external and internal organs of the body, veins, arteries, etc. With its sluggishness is being gradually replaced with strong agility, making each part of the body healthier. Competence and capacity of each sense organ is increasing manifold. Face is becoming more radiant. There is augmentation of intellectual capacity which is becoming perceptible to one's own self as well as to others as development of talents and excellence. As a matter of fact, autosuggestion is the key to the metamorphosis of psyche. Shruti proclaims yo yachchadrasa evsa, that is, man shapes his personality by his own thoughts and concepts about himself. The cosmic energy pervading this universe is an unlimited repository of positive attributes. Continuous positive thinking and conceptualization of imbibition of qualities of great men in own self begin to draw like attributes from the cosmic energy, generating desired currents of bioenergy within. Psychologists too advocate the efficacy of positive thinking for bringing in a change in personality. It is theorized that like the ionosphere surrounding this earth, human brain is enveloped by an ionosphere, attributes of which depend on the thinking habit of the person. This ionosphere can be made to change instantaneously by changing the outlook, but it regains its original character on resumption of older habits. On imbibition of idealism in the thought process, that is with the beginning of positive thinking, directed towards excellence, a glow appears on the face and the individual acquires a personal magnetism. With it, the person develops an unusual capacity to influence others by his utterances to the extent of changing the outlook of many more around him. In a way, with the help of auto-suggestions, one can change his invisible halo into a strong personal magnet. Psychologists say, think and grow rich or adopt positive principles today. All great men in history have reached the heights of greatness through auto-suggestions only. In his early years of life, Mahatma Gandhi was inspired by the play Harishchandra. It had induced him to use auto-suggestions for making experiments with truth in his life. How far this process helped him is now known to all. In course of research in the Brahmvarchas Institute, mental stimulations are created with the help of audiovisual signals, and after a short interval, the subject is asked to ponder over the reactions. This process generates a strong biocurrent which is monitored directly on GSR biofeedback. In this experiment, the subject is able to see the reactions of his thought process on skin resistance. Similarly, frequency of respiration, pulse rate, blood pressure are also found changing with various types of auto-suggestions. The techniques of Vipassana meditation and Jain system of meditation are also based on autosuggestions. There is no reason why adoption of correct method of autosuggestion should not bring about the desired change in the talents of a person. 2. Sadhana with mirror. Basically, it is the sadhana of self-appraisal and self-improvement. Be seated before a large mirror, either cross-legged on the floor or on a chair. Look at each part of your body with appreciation and confidence in its competence. Begin with a self-appraisal, thinking that the inner self is getting cleansed of all weaknesses and vices. The omnipotent God is very kind. Forgetting the past, conceptualize that intensity of bioenergy, Pran Vidyut, is increasing in the internal organs of the body, and its radiance, Tejasvita, is permeating outwards, increasing the glow of outer skin, radiating out of each and every part of the body. Imagine that your body, which was earlier pale, infirm and weak, has now been transformed, and each pore of the body is charged with Pran Vidyut, bioelectricity. Think that the body is developing faster. Indications of improvement in talents are clearly appearing, and existence of self is totally merging with the figure, reflection of self in the mirror, as a charged entity. This process of meditation is known as Dhyan Sadhana of Lay Yoga. It transforms the psyche of the person by the process which is known as Bhavkalp. 3. Meditating on a colorful environment. Each color component of light is impregnated with specific chemical constituents, elements of metals and electrical currents derived from rays of the sun. They leave a distinct imprint on the body and the brain. In a healthy person, these constituents are in a state of equilibrium. Whenever any change occurs in the ratio of color absorption in the body, or there is a distortion or disequilibrium in their absorption, the system of the body becomes weak and prone to various disorders and diseases. In chromotherapy, the affected organ or some particular part of body is exposed to rays of the specific colored light for specified period through the medium of transparent colored glass or electric bulbs. For improving the efficacy of mental faculties, the subject is also asked to meditate on specific colors with closed eyes. The 7 colors of spectrum, violet, indigo, blue, green, yellow, orange and red, are isolated and made to appear bright with the help of C-stroboscope. With the help of special lenses, all colors but the one desired are filtered out, and the subject is made to concentrate on that color for a particular duration. The process stimulates the ultra-fine nerves of mind along with the chakras, extrasensory energy centers. Regular practice of this meditation triggers the desired reactions for change in the psyche. It is conceptualized that the particular color is omnipresent in the cosmos and is also permeating one's own body with its characteristic energy. This process of meditation is recommended for a period of 5 to 10 minutes. The choice of colors is made by specialists and depends on the state of psyche of the person. 4. Pranakarshan Pranayam, a breathing exercise to draw in bioenergy. The entire cosmos is impregnated with pran, a component of bioenergy. Normally, every living entity, plant or animal, receives only that much of this energy which is required for keeping it alive. However, one does require greater bioenergy for the drive required for higher goals. Conjunction of the two components of bioenergy, that is, the one operational in the body of the being, pran, and the other in its cosmic reservoir, mahapran, not only recharges the former, but also makes it much more stronger, thereby increasing its efficacy of utilization. In the realm of Chetna, field of bioenergy, pran is the only force existing as negative ions of electrical energy. A deficiency of these ions makes one sick, pale and devoid of vigor. Consequently, efficiency of the person is reduced. On the other hand, abundance of negative ions increases resistance to diseases, adds radiance to face, enhances the bioenergy, pran, present in the body and makes the person more efficient. One of the exercises for improving of excellence in person is known as Pranakarshan Pranayam. This is how it is carried out. Be seated in a relaxed position, keeping back straight, with both hands on the lap. Conceptualize that you are sitting in the midst of pran, force which is engulfing you from all sides like waves of dense bright white clouds. Imagine that you are sitting within this mass of cloud in nonchalant, serene and happy mood. Now breathe in slowly with both nostrils, imagining that in the air being inhaled is also dissolved strongly reactive pran, which is forcing its entry in the body and is being assimilated by its various internal constituents. While retaining breath, imagine that pran inhaled is being retained. After retention, exhale with the conception that all undesirable traits and instincts of weakness, which were present within, have been dissolved, neutralized, in the pran and are now being expelled permanently from the body by way of exhalation. In the initial stage, 5 to 10 minutes should be considered sufficient for this exercise. Gradually, this period is increased. In the Research Institute of the Mission, the increase in the capacity of retention of pran, quantity of expulsion of toxins from the blood and enhancement of oxygen content of blood are monitored. There are clear indications of improvements in body condition, resistance to disease, and mental faculties, increase in excellence. 5. Suryavedhan Pranayam, be seated in the meditational posture. Spine erect, hands on lap, eyes closed, mind relaxed. Minimum clothes should be worn. Face eastwards. Time, dawn with the purplish glow of the rising sun. Conceptualize that the astral being residing in the body, soul, has come out and is reaching for the sun. Just as thread in a needle goes across the cloth or a metallic rod is made to cross a flame, the astral being is conceptualized penetrating, traveling through the rising sun. Imagine that in this process, it is being charged with the energy of the sun. Begin pranayam. Imagine that the air inhaled through the right nostril, left being held closed, is stimulating and exciting the Surya Chakra, an extrasensory plexus situated in the middle of the brain. Think that a large quantity of ojas, tejas and varchas is being assimilated in the self through the inhaled air which is full of pran. Thereafter, while exhaling, All evil traits and instincts are making an exit. Imagine that during this process the charge of pran has increased substantially and is being felt as an increase in excellence in all aspects. While not paying much attention to the practice, physical exercise, this exercise is carried out with emphasis on conceptualization. The effects are definitely beneficial to the person. 6. Magnetic contact. In medical science, magnetotherapy has its own significance. There is a remarkable similarity amongst disciplines like acupuncture, acupressure, mudrabandh, stimulation of ultrafine nuclei of body with the help of special yogic postures, and magnetotherapy. Our planet operates as a huge magnet. From the eternal repository of pran in the cosmos, the Earth continues to draw a fixed quantity through the North Pole and disposes of the undesirable evil components, effluents, through the South Pole. Magnetotherapy, making use of this principle, draws in pran, introduces it in the diseased part of the body through the North Pole of the magnet and discards the unwanted elements affecting the diseased part through its South Pole. A mildly magnetized piece of iron is taken and moved slowly overhead, spinal column, and heart in a clockwise rotatory motion. The movement should be slow. The magnet is passed downwards over throat, navel and reproductive organs and then washed to remove the undesirable accumulations. This process is repeated again and again. An electromagnet may also be used in a similar manner. The methodology of treatment depends upon the type of ailment and therapy is carried out under diagnosis and guidance of the specialist in the field. 7. Association with persons highly charged with pran. For acquiring paranormal powers from someone, one is often on the lookout for the process of Shaktipat, which being a tantric process, is difficult and dangerous for both giver and the taker. On the other hand, one may resort to a simple and convenient alternative by trying to stay as close to a spiritually charged experienced person as is possible. One may make an endeavor to find conceptual proximity to some super being like Hanuman or Bhagirath and attempt a continuous interaction with such persons. The interaction should be akin to that between the soap and the cloth, the former providing its cleanliness, virtues, to latter, removing its dirt, vices, in the process. For this purpose one may take the help of a painting, photograph idol, etc. or contemplate on ideals followed by these super beings. This is also a method for increasing pranachetna. The subject is benefited like an infant sucking milk from the breast of the mother or a disciple deriving strength from Guru. 8. Nad Yog. The musical notes of various musical instruments produce characteristic waves which leave distinct imprints on human psyche. Audition of such music in a peaceful environment devoid of noise helps in development of excellence in the person. Shabd Shakti, power of sound, is in fact fuel for Chetna. During audition, the nuclei of energy within one's body are stimulated and excited. For this purpose, one may use either a tape or live music. For choosing the special type of music suitable for the sadhak, help of a specialist is necessary. It is also necessary to select a particular instrument and play a particular tune, rag, suitable for the time. Initially, audition is recommended for a period of 5 to 10 minutes only. Later, with practice, the time may be increased. The research laboratory at Shanti Kunj is engaged in preparation of cassettes suitable for various levels of sadhaks. 9. Prayashchitya, confession and redemption. Evil deeds like adultery, deception, unethical learning too deplete the power of pran in a person, and his excellence, talents, are proportionately suppressed. Therefore, penance, prayashchitya, for compensation of the evil deeds willfully or inadvertently performed becomes a necessity. Confession is regarded as a significant tenet of Christianity. In order to redeem the damage done by the vices, virtuous acts are performed. Vrat and Upvas of the order of Chandrayan are recommended for this purpose. One feels fairly relieved on disclosing the details of such deeds to specialists like Guru and seeking advice for appropriate prayashchitya. It opens new avenues for progress. Prayashchitya is a process of psychological cleaning, which is very much necessary for improving one's excellence. 10. Partaking preparations of germinated seeds and herbal medicines. Various grains of food and herbal plants and roots have special medicinal values. A newly germinated seed has specific and extraordinary characteristics. The type of grains are chosen according to one's requirement and sown in 7 pots after 1 day's interval. On the 7th day, the kulk of sprouted growth is prepared by adding 12 grams, 3 spoons, of water in 3 grams of juice of sprouted growth. After decantation, this kulk is taken with a little honey early in the morning on empty stomach. This preparation helps in augmentation of tejas and works as a tonic for brain and bioenergy. Similar kulk may be prepared from green herbs and roots or from their dried and ground products. The doses are, however, prescribed by specialists. In some cases, the subject is asked to inhale vapors of these herbs during Agnihotra. Here we have discussed in a nutshell 10 methods of improving talents and excellence in a person. Detailed information on these treatments is provided to the participants of sadhana sessions.